the top 5 characters, period, for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes for the month of November 2018. So, obviously, this list has changed a little bit. We're definitely going to be looking at the best characters in the game, and that's for overall utility, not just the best leaders or the best support characters. It's the best characters in the game overall. So, at number 5, who do we have here, Maurice?
Number 5 is going to be CLS. CLS, good old CLS. We just talked about how Rebels are trash, but CLS is super versatile in the game. Makes probably the best Rebel leader, a countering leader. He does so much within his kit. He's got a dispel. He's got the offense on, offense off mechanic. He has turn meter gain for the team. He's got loads of debuffs, defense down, I think it is. What is it? Speed down, buff immunity, which is super important. And just a essential character for the raid. He's not super useful in the Sith Triumvirate raid. He's not like a key character, as there's so many options for P3 now, but every other raid, I mean, you can solo the Rancor and the tank raid. You pretty much need CLS in both of those teams. Good damage, decent, just a decent all-around like package in terms of like stats for the character. So he is an essential character in everybody's package, everybody's character package.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, he is still a character that can still, save you in territory battles at the end if you get, wiped out. He's still that one character that can, regen his protection, give himself 100% turn meter and stun targets. You can kind of pinpoint who you want to attack and stun. If you have him jacked up with potency, he's even more effective. He's just a hard-hitting character, reduces turn meter. He's the only real viable Rebel leader in the game to speak of. And he's just a great all-around character. Yes, for raid specifically, he's pretty much a home run for the pit raid. You can just throw it on auto and throw him in there and, auto that whole raid now with him and a couple of the characters. And... he's just an essential character for all game modes in this game. He's essential for TW, TB, he's probably going to be a meta character for a long time. But that's our number 5 leader. It's our number 5 character in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Moving along to our number 4 character, we have Enfys Nest. So some of you may have thought Enfys Nest might be a little bit higher up on the list here. It's debatable, but Enfys Nest is definitely a top 5 character. She has so much utility as a character that can be put on as a 5th in almost any team. She stuns, she dispels, she sticks AoE days, she reduces turn meter, she counterattacks. The list goes on and on. What are your thoughts about Enfys Nest, Abby?
She's the one character that I wailed. I haven't wailed on anybody else, but she's the only character I have ever wailed on. And I had done that before. I haven't even seen the movie yet. So I didn't know anything about her, but then I saw a video and went, oh my God, I have to have this character. So I use her for so much. And right now, I actually use her on my Revan team.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because she's very effective against Troya on that Revan team. On the Revan teams, you don't have a lot of debuffers. So if you are lacking a little bit with Ezra, if you're lacking or you don't have your Qui-Gon Jinn, maybe stick Enfys Nest in there. She'll slam them down a little bit, and she'll help take down Scion, which is a difficult thing to do with the Revan team.
Makes a lot of sense. Enfys Nest is definitely a super meta character, and a character that a lot of people that didn't spend money on in this, or a lot of people that never bought a character in this game before, decided to splurge on. I saw it very much so in my own arena shard. There are people that never spent a dime on this game that decided to, wail out on Enfys Nest because she was such a meta-defining character. I mean, right out the gate, we all knew that this was instantly going to be one of the best characters that came out this year. And I personally think that she's probably good old Maurice's favorite character. in this game. But yeah, that's our number 4 character in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Moving along to our number 3 best characters in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Who do we have here, Maurice?
Number 3 is going to be Troya. Might be a shock to some of you, but Troya is going to be number 3, just for her overall kid. I mean, yes, she's a great leader. She is kind of faction specific. She doesn't have much standalone value, but once you get her 7-star, she's phenomenal in the raids. Kind of like we talked about earlier. You put the Triumvirate with her, and then just X and Y, and you can pick up 2 million in P2. Just got the cleansing. Every time a Sith begins their turn, they just instantly remove all the debuffs, which just neutralizes so many team comps within the game. Just get big damage on her saber. She's got Isolate, which is arguably the best individual ability in the entire game. Just a great character. You can build her tanky. You can build her, squishy and offense oriented. Very flexible in terms of how you build her. Just a great character. She is the in-game content, the heroic Sith raid reward. So she is definitely in the top 5 and number 3, in my opinion. I mean, you can make a case for any of these characters could be swapped. However you probably with the exception of CLS, the top 4 you can kind of move around. But yeah.
Well, Troya is absolutely like a meta-defining character. She's been the top of the meta, the premier for the last 6 months, and she's got a ton of damage. She brought a new debuff to the game with Isolate. Her leader ability is a mouthful, but it's basically one of the best in the game, if not the best in the game. And she's just overall a hard-hitting character that can be a great addition to a squad and a great leader for a Sith squad. And, I think that overall when you think about, characters that make an impact in this game and characters that I think are here for the long term, I think that no matter what Sith comes out in the future, whether it's Sith Revan or we get Darth Malik or we get Darth Malgus or Darth Bane at some point down the road, I think that we're going to always have Darth Troya as a part of that team. No matter how far down the road we're talking here, she's just got that much viability. So definitely a great character. What are your thoughts, Abby?
I think she's great. I absolutely love her. I was able to get 7-star on all of them fairly quickly. From hopping from guild to guild, or actually I should say from my account to account. But I really enjoy it. I want to keep her in my meta, absolutely. And I love her in TW because she's very versatile and can kick butt in just about anything.
Absolutely. All right, that's our number 3 character in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Moving along to our number 2 character in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, we have Jedi Knight Revan. Oh, let's hear what everybody thinks about this. Okay, so we were actually at odds about this decision, me and Maurice, but ultimately it does make sense. Revan is a fantastic character all around. I mean, he does add so much to the Jedis. He is a character that can focus on a target that's not taunting, so he can basically create a taunt on any character in the game. He has a bonkers leader ability that just basically boosts the Jedi like crazy. He has the ability to pick and choose a character that he's going to dispel and then give 100% turn meter to. And overall, I mean, he's not the highest damage dealer in the game, but for utility, I mean, as a leader and even as a character that you put into a squad, he's just overall a fantastic character and a great addition to the Jedi squad.
Right. I'm kind of surprised that he's labeled as an attacker and not a support, because Trey is considered a support and has great synergy with a lot of the others that she can help out with. But with Revan, he doesn't hit that hard. So why have him as an attacker when he's actually better placed as a support character.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with you. It's kind of weird that he isn't listed as an attacker. I think that's just more because of his history in the lore than it is about what he actually does in this game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
definitely. Because he is considered one of the best, fighters in the history of Star Wars. So I guess they just listed him as an attacker. But yeah, he is more of a support character. He definitely does not do as much damage as some other characters on the team. I mean, if anything, Grandmaster Yoda is probably the major damage dealer of that Jedi team, and he is kind of secondary, even behind Bastila sometimes, if you mod her correctly.
Well, you can't beat somebody with a purple lightsaber. I mean, since purple's my favorite color, that's like, yeah, I like this. This is the character I want to get, simply because he's got a purple lightsaber.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely my favorite character in the game. I went nuts for him, so I'm glad I have him. But let me give you a little reasoning behind why he's number 2 here. Bear in mind that he is pretty faction specific. Okay, so you can't really get a lot of value out of Revan in other teams because of the way his kit was made. He does have a ton of utility in that Jedi team, and he right now is the best leader in the game as a Jedi leader. But again, there are other characters in this game that I think add a little bit more versatility to being in a larger amount of different teams that can kind of help you out in a lot of different areas. And he also doesn't have a ship,
right?
So there's that to factor in as well. But what are your thoughts, Maurice?
What he brings to the Jedi faction, he's hands down the best character in the game. But if you take Revan off and try to put him on your Tusken team, he's not going to do very much. He's not very. He really doesn't have too much standalone value outside of the Jedi, and even with he doesn't really bring too much outside of the speed and maybe a couple components of his leadership ability to the Old Republic faction. So I mean, is he the best? Is he the meta character in the game right now? Yes. Is he the most useful overall for your entire gaming experience? No. And to prevent Ramon from having a stroke, I wanted to put Nest number 2 and move Troya and Revan down a slot, but I just I didn't.
That would never. I would never allow that to happen, guys.
Yes, I know.
So I didn't allow that to happen. But there is an echo, so whoever has the speaker on, just turn that off. Okay, let's take a look here at number 1. Who do we have here, Maurice?
That's going to be Thrawn. We just talked about characters that bring a lot to your entire gaming experience, and Thrawn is number 1. Just him and Nest. Okay, I'll get off my Nest kick. Thrawn is like the essence of a plug-and-play character. You can throw him in every single team. He is going to make that team arguably better. Just turn meter swap, protection regen, fracture. You make a case fracture or isolate are probably the 2 best abilities in the game. Maybe Revan's mark as well, but just completely neutralizes a character. Has great benefits for the raid. Just any big, just another much like CLS. You can throw him in your raid team. He's a key component to soloing. I use him in my Rancor solo team. A lot of people use him in their tank solo teams. Just significantly increases your raid scores. He is a member of the Empire faction. The Empire faction is kind of in my opinion, but you see him now. You see him in these Troya teams. We talked about Bastila earlier, and he's the 5th piece to the Triumvirate Bastila Troya counter to Revan. Just for that fracture, the combination of fracture and isolate. Just a great character. Capital ship commander. A very good capital ship. Maybe not the best at the moment. That could change down the road. Who knows? But just a very, very, very fast character. That deals special damage. Just all sorts of just components he brings. He has a unique ability where he can cleanse an empire. If he's the leader, he brings a whole new ability, and every Empire character gets an additional ability where they just self-cleanse and get turn meter. That comes in super handy, especially in TW when you're facing, like a lot of people use the Thrawn Magma Trooper combo to counter Troya, and that cleanse can really come in handy That way your shore trooper or your stormtrooper can taunt, and they won't be shocked, or they won't be, buff block. They'll be able to shed it. They'll be able to continue taunting, get the debuffs off Death Trooper so he can be effective. Just a great character. Should be everyone needs to get. That's why every YouTuber, everybody does a podcast, everybody does Twitch, recommends new players start Phoenix so they can get, mainly to get Thrawn.
I mean, that fracture ability is OP, to be honest with you. I mean, it's a dispel, and it basically renders a character useless. You can just pick anybody on the board if you have your Thrawn fast enough and just take him out of the game entirely. So he is absolutely a game changer character. Again, I know some of you guys don't necessarily use Thrawn as much as you may have in the past, or at all, based upon the team that you're running in Arena right now. So you may be running a Jedi team, and you may not see a reason for Thrawn. But if you're running a good Sith team, or you're running a good, a good counter to the Revan squads, Thrawn is definitely a good component to that.
He's one of my he's probably my top favorite character in the game, and always has. He's my favorite blueberry muffin boy. I love that character.
He is fantastic. That's why he's number one in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes right now. Now, we do have an honorable mention, as usual. I'm going to let you guys guess. What do you think it is?
Well, I know what it is.
not you. I'm talking about the chat. But I'm going to go ahead and reveal it here. It's Darth Nihilus. It's not Asajj. Damn it!
I'm actually surprised. He was not in the top 5. Actually, I'm surprised.
Yes, Darth Nihilus is a fantastic character. Again, I'm sure if it was up to Maurice, Asajj would be here. But Darth Nihilus, with that annihilate ability, there's just nothing greater than the ability to take out a full character with one attack. It's too crazy. He increases cooldowns. He can dispel with his basic attack. He's not much of a leader. That may change one day. He's not much of a leader right now, but his unique ability, being able to stick a debuff on basically every character as they take a turn. He's just a tremendous character all around, and couldn't really find a place in the top 5 for him over some of these other characters, but he's definitely worth a mention for sure.
Well, just you could use that Annihilate a 3-star. We talked the other night, one of the streams, like I started an alt where Darth Nihilus was the marquee character right around the same time, and it's just the entire arena was just 3-star Darth Nihilus just annihilating everybody. Just a great character, cooldown reduction, which is super helpful. He's got a dispelling on his basic. Like you mentioned, his leader is his Zeta is but just his overall kit is just phenomenal. Just very unique to the game. Just one shot any character. They can't be revived. We talk about Jolie. We saw how quickly he's rising in Arena. It doesn't matter if you use Annihilate. The character cannot be revived. Once you put that Omega on it, it's a super good Omega investment in terms of abilities to purchase. It's just a cool character.
He's also just he's a great character to add to a lot of different squads as well. You don't necessarily have to have him on a Sith team to have him be useful. I mean, you could put him on the back of a Jedi team and he'll help out. You could put him on the back of a Night Sister squad and he'll help out. And again, these may not be the best teams on defense, but if you want to get a W, you could throw him in on a lot of different teams, and having that ability to dispel with a basic and then also take a character out entirely is tremendous. And just to give you a little insight, when they were creating this character, there was a lot of back and forth about whether the ability to annihilate itself was too overpowered to give to a single character. They definitely were tossing around the idea, and they had decided that this was the only opportunity that we'd ever have to actually give this to somebody, because there's no other character that could have this ability. So they decided to go with it, and I'm glad they did, because again, it's a move on the chessboard, and You know, there are factors to it. You know, the cooldown is pretty high, and you know, things like that. But when they
he's super slow, like base speed wise, he is incredibly slow, especially compared to some of these newer characters. He's slow. So I mean, you do have an advantage there.
Right, and Rex Nathaniel is actually the overall MVP for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes over the last 3 years, for sure. I agree with you 100%. He's just not in the meta right now. So as of November 2018, Rex is not in the top 5. But I would say, if you ask me, like, top 5 characters in the history of this game, absolutely, Rex would be in the top 3, in my opinion, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But,
well, that entire Rex meta that we had prior to Palpatine getting his even afterwards, I mean, that whole Rex meta was predicated on Rex speeding up Nihilus. Every Rex team had Nihilus in it. So
Rex Lead will be back again someday, I promise.
It always is. It always is. Yeah.
But that's our top 5 for this week. Top 5 characters in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes for November 2018. If you guys like that kind of thing, please do smash the like button. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're watching and you're not already subscribed, and click that bell for notifications when we go live every Sunday. So we're going to...
Yes, Master.